Welcome to the 3Haunted podcast, where we bring you all things horror, supernatural, folklore, mythology, and all things that go bump in the night.
Hey guys, this is your co-host Ashley Lunar Goddess, Gorilla Girl filmmaker and horror-loving cinephile. I'm just your average pun-making swearwolf that loves to explore the spookier things in life.
Hey everybody, I'm John Thomas, paranormal investigator, super smartass, and film lover extraordinaire.
Here we go. What's up, ghouls, gals, and all of our meta pals? Today we have the fantastic, the phenomenal LED Gargoyle, really awesome TikTok content creator and personality. Welcome. I'm gonna call you Matthew because I don't think I can keep up LED.
That's fine. That'll work.
By the way, to people tuning in, I'm not making up a name for him. That's his actual name. So I'm going to call you Matthew. I don't know what your actual name is, but we're going with
You
that.
look like a Matt. We'll just stick with that.
Like a match. That's what I do. I just name our guests. So welcome.
How's it going?
So here's the deal. The amazing Matthew here. He gets in this awesome LED blacklight paint. I love the faces he's making. And he gets on TikTok and he does all of these awesome performances to different songs. And I wasn't sure when he was coming on today, is he going to show up in makeup? Is he not in the paint? And so when he clicked on the screen and I saw it, I was like, woo! So my question to you is, how long have you been doing this?
About 2 years.
2 years? What inspired you to do it?
I seen the same type of character, just some guy painted out in LED paint, and just really eye-catching. And I was like, wow, that looks absolutely amazing. And I thought TikTok was just, the same repetitive dancing and most generic stuff happening every day. It was just boring to me. And then I seen that, and I was like, oh, wow. You could really express yourself through different paints and different lightings and cameras. And it was just, after that, it was a wrap. That's all I did for 2 years.
That's really cool. Had you ever done any kind of face paint prior to seeing that, or did you just kind of teach yourself after you were inspired?
Yeah, it was totally just go with it and go with the flow, see what happened kind of thing.
That's awesome. I think it's fun. I think that with the makeup, the paint that you use, you catch expressions that you probably wouldn't normally catch. Like I've seen so many of your lives, because you do this on live and you'll do it for hours. It's amazing. Your endurance is fantastic, first of all. But second of all, even on the videos that you record and post, the clips, your facial expressions, I'm like, how can a person contort their face like that?
Yeah, there's a few cosplayers out there that are really in control of their facial movements, their eyebrows, and they're just every expression comes through their face, and it's like, wow, dude. It's like, all right,
You're like, watch me go. Yeah. It's really neat because you can go from being just singing, dancing, belting it out, and then you stop and look, just deadpan at the camera, and it's like, whoa, I'm a little scared. It's hard to get me. It's like an exciting creepy though. I was like, wow, that's so cool.
I appreciate it. It's definitely fun to unlock different characters through the music or the paint and whatnot.
And I love that you have a variety of songs that you do. It's not, people might look at your face paint and think, oh, he only does heavy metal or rock or any assumption they might make. And it's like, this guy will go from Evanescence to Disney to Tool to all of these fun songs. And even you had a boy band section at some point where it was all pop songs, and I'm singing and dancing along to every single song, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely throw a lot of variety in it. It's just music that I grew up to or was easily playable on the TikTok without worrying about getting bananaed, as we so say.
Speaking of bananaed, you do get, every other content creator out there, I'm sure, on your lives, you do get some trolls, and I love how you handle them. Um, you're very good natured about it. You know, some people get very mad, some people like get very, explosive, and you're just like, I don't even know. I think the one I recall is some guy coming in and is like, "Oh, you're begging to be insulted," and you're just like standing there. You take a drink from your energy drink, and you're like, "Sure, give me what you got." And it was just like, "Sure, give me what you got," and they didn't even. I think they didn't even respond. Later, they were like, "Nah, it's okay, man." Because what do
Yeah,
you say to that, right? Like, how does one follow up with, "Sure, give me what you got"?
you hear a lot of stuff, and being around a ton of people, growing up in different schools and different cities and whatnot, different jobs. You've heard it all before. It's just hate, and it's easy to brush off.
For you, I don't know how I would do. Like, I think about that. Like, John and I have talked about eventually doing like some of the, because he wants to do more ghost hunt stuff, like paranormal investigations, and trying to do some lives with that. Like, for me, people are probably going to be laughing because I'm going to be screaming and crying in the corner or something. But I was just like, I don't know how I would deal with the trolls. Because in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I can handle it.
That makes for good live, though.
I know. In my head, I'm like, I can handle it. I've got it. But in reality, I'd probably be like, that was mean. Like, they'll hit that one trigger that's like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
there's definitely gonna be people that are gonna look for your insecurities and pick them out and come right after you full bore. But I mean, they're just trying to bring what you're doing down and bring you down in general. It's nothing that they don't know you personally, or it's nothing that should really be taken to effect that hardly. It's just nonsense, high school drama.
Yep, exactly. And I'll kick their ass anyway. I don't even care.
the smile is so wicked. I love it. He's just like, yay, smile and That's one of the other things that I love is that you'll start with like one look and then you'll just smear it into another look and it works. It's like now like a completely different, like demented clown.
That was a neat trick to discover doing that one.
Now, what makes you gravitate to the clown look? For I know you've done other looks, but mostly the clown.
I guess that one just comes off almost naturally when you start putting on the paint. It's just a clown comes out. I guess my teachers were always right. They called me the class clown, and I just grew into it.
You leaned into it. You embraced it.
Yeah,
I
I just
love it.
accepted my fate.
It totally works. I love it.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
like,
I think I'm gonna sound like a total fan because I catch like a lot of your lives, but I think it was a few days ago or something you were on a live and you had said this is like your decompression time. This is like when you do the performances, and I find that interesting because most people will probably think performing that's like when you're on, when you're working, and you're like, this is my decompression.
yeah, it is very relaxing to me for some reason. Just being able to again just leave my reality and make other people enter into something and just get lost in time and visual effects and the moment and the sounds. It's just taking you out of reality. And before you know it, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours is coming up. TikTok is telling me, dude, go to bed. It's like, I just keep going. Give me a coffee or something, I'm good.
Yeah, there was one where you said you were like on your sixth energy drink or something. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, or like 2,000 milligrams of monster caffeine.
Oh my gosh. I had
I
to
remember
pull
those
back.
days.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot of the Rockstar ones, and it's like, oh, I drink too many.
Yeah, my
I've
kidneys are
tapered
sponsored
back.
now by them, I think.
Kidney sponsored by Monster. This is not a paid advertisement.
No, it's totally unpaid sponsoring.
Now, I did see recently, you hit a video and it says you caught an orb on your video.
Yeah,
So when did like do you when did you catch that?
I was actually just in my same studio that I got going on here, and then I was just filming. I seen it just drop out, and then it just stopped and kind of went forward and up a little bit. To me, I've had a few videos like that where I caught orbs, or people call them just dust or whatever. But to me, when it fell down, it like stopped kind of centrally and then went up and straight. It was more of a flight path than just a fall pattern.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool, I got another orb. And then I have one early on where it shows it go around my body, and I snap photos of it, screenshotting it. and it shows it like literally do an S around my whole body. I thought, like, oh, cool. I've
That is
always
cool.
liked that side of the world.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, and you can tell usually when it's dust or a bug or whatever. Sometimes it's hard, but for the most part, you can tell. And I actually saw that video that Ashley was talking about. I was like, "Holy crap, that's awesome!"
Yeah, there's no wind in this room at all. It's a totally blacked out sheet room, so there's no fans or nothing going on. And it
Right.
fell, and then it just like stops like at this central level and just goes straight out and then dissolves. It was like, oh well, that's dusty, odd behavior.
And I mean, you make a really good point because you see a lot of the videos where people talk about orbs, and it's like, yeah, that does look like dust, right? Just kind of like floating. But then there are videos where it's like, now dust does not do that.
Dust don't
Not
have
that I'm
flight
aware.
patterns.
Yeah, no, it doesn't stop mid-flight and go up and back down. Like it, I don't know. Especially like you said, that when there's not any kind of fan or heat blowing around to cause that. So that's interesting. Now you said you like that kind of the world. Have you experienced like other paranormal things?
When I was younger, I have. I don't know if it was just my mind knowing that a place has weird vibe or spooky scene or scenery that made me play out something more exaggerated than what actually happened. But yeah, definitely.
Well, like what? If you don't mind me asking.
Um, I used to live in an old town, and buildings were very old and whatnot. Some of them were brought down or bringing down, and one of them stayed standing for like centuries. It must have been just old, tethered, and was really out of place. Most of them were like colonial buildings and whatnot. This was like just a one room shack, and going by it, my friends would ride our bikes as fast as we possibly can by it, so we were not in front of it as much as possible. And just slowed down one day, and I looked through the windows, and you could swear you could just see the silhouette of someone just looking back at you. And yeah, I still remember that like gut wrenching. I'm out of here kind of feel.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those kind of moments though are the ones that are not necessarily this is probably not making it better for you if you didn't want to experience that, but like those aren't necessarily the ones to me that are imagined because you're off doing your thing, right? And you're like, yeah, okay, spooky thing. But when your eye catches something and it makes you stop, it's like you know what I mean? You weren't leaning into it and looking for it. So it's especially like it's that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach, like, whoa, what was that? It startles you because yeah, I've experienced that too. And it's just like those silhouettes. And you know when there's something out of place, right? Like something was
Yeah,
there and it's just like, wait, what was that? That that wasn't supposed to be there.
yeah, you can definitely catch something that's been out of place, or like when you're in your room sometimes, especially younger, and you turn off the lights and you see like shadows or some creepy coat hanging on a door or something like that that seems to be moving or whatever. Your imagination can help a lot to play out something that's not really going on.
I even do that as an adult. Like laying
Mhm.
there and it's just like, okay, I know that's my fan.
I
But
I still remember booking it upstairs or turning off a light in a room and just like running like no tomorrow to the next lit room.
like
Like
something's
for
just
no reason.
reaching out to grab you to pull you back. Like, I'm gonna make it racing for your life every night.
I still look at the stairs in the basement with the holes in the bottom, and I'm just waiting for something to pop its hand out, dude. Oh God, man!
I can't
I'm
do
going
those.
next level, girly. I'm just gonna scream
No.
and run.
Yep.
You have the house, keep it.
Yeah. Scary movies have definitely ruined those. Yeah.
I won't do those steps. I've been to a few of those houses and like those basement steps where you
Uh-uh.
someone can just reach through. Nope. That's a no. Like I'm good. I don't need to explore that basement.
Horror films have definitely ruined the stairs like that for me.
I'd definitely love to explore a place like that.
I was born in a small town in Texas where like for 14 years I lived and they don't do basements. Like that's not a thing. And so just moving into a place that has a basement and my only reference for basements at that point is horror movies, it just like we still have like therapeutic work we have to do with each other. I still have like a kind of aversion to basements. I'm like, y'all can go down there and hang out. I'm gonna stay up here where the living people stay, okay? Because I watch enough movies.
That's when you get a sled and just sled down it. You're stuck down there afterwards, of course, but
Oh,
at least you got
God.
down.
So when you are walking down basement steps like that, is it like a quick tiptoe down so nothing can
Yeah,
grab you?
I'm not standing on the steps having like a dance segment. I'm just there to get work done and get up and down them, and that's it. I try not to even look through them too much.
See if something's staring back at you.
Yeah, if I catch eyes, oh, I don't even want to think of what I'm going to do in that scenario. But
Yeah, all I can picture is that one scene. It wasn't basement steps, but just like the peeking through. All I can picture is the new Evil Dead, the
Oh,
remake with
yes.
the like the girl demon, and she's like looking up.
Uh huh. She's like, we're gonna get you. I'm like, fuck you are. Like, see ya. I'm
That's what
out.
I see, like that face peeking through the basement steps. Like, nope, you're not getting me. Oh man. Speaking of horror, what's your favorite horror movie?
oh, there's so many. It's kind of like the music industry. There's no real way to say which one is my favorite indeed. But
That's fair.
I do like the mystical, like Ouija boards or old witchcraft or something that brings you to a whole new century or a whole new era and just puts you in their shoes really and gets you connected to the characters and the elements that are there to freak you out, so to speak. There's a lot of bad ones out there, that's for sure.
He's like, I can tell you which ones I think are bad. Which ones do you think are bad?
Like Salem's Lot was bad from Rob Zombie. That one was not any good to me. There's a bunch of like knockoff Ouija ones that are just badly played out or just you don't see anything actually scary happen or just a bunch of kids just sitting in front of a board with the candles blowing out or something. Just nothing happens.
Did you enjoy like any of the new remakes or reboots that came out, like Scream 5 or the new Halloween movies?
No, I haven't even seen them.
Ah.
To me, the originals are always going to be the best. You cannot remake those. Like even the character, like when they made of the new Freddy Krueger dude, I couldn't. Yeah, exactly. I was like, no, no, no. I couldn't even watch past the first like 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, I'm already done.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me when they recast like the iconic characters because it's not like to me it's not like when they're putting a different person underneath, and I know I'm probably going to get kicked by a bunch of people that are super Jason fans, but for me like you could put different actors in there and it's okay. Like you can still keep each movie going, right? Put a hockey mask on and give them a machete. Again, don't kick me, people who are avid Jason fans, because they'll tell you no, they each bring their own acting to it. Like, I feel you, but it's not as disruptive as like Freddy Krueger, where that, like, that it's hard to separate that actor from that. Like, he is the
He
character.
was, yeah, he was Freddy Krueger. There's just no way around it. CGI couldn't do it. Another dude couldn't pull it off. It was just done once he was
Right.
done.
Yeah.
I think Ashley's going to bring it up anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and say the same with Pinhead. So,
Yeah.
Doug Bradley is Pinhead.
Hmm.
Yeah, and like so when they replaced him in what was it, 10? Oh, was it 10?
One of the long ones? Yeah.
One of the late, like far end. I think it was 10. Might have been before 10. But when they replaced him, that was just no. All around no. The actor did just like it didn't work for me. And I know they've gone through a few. I didn't mind the new Hellraiser having a different like Pinhead, it being a female, because to me that's a completely different character.
Hmm.
Like it's not meant to be Pinhead that was Doug Bradley. It's like this is a completely new character.
Yeah,
She's a new evolution of, and I'm like, okay, I could buy that. I could buy into that world. That's works for me. But just this whole like switching actors and being like, this is the same one, okay? You guys don't know any better. You don't know. This is the same one. I'm like,
that's always killed sequels for me. It's when they take your main cast and throw in a whole different set of heads, and it's like, yeah, that's still him. What are you talking about?
Right? It's like when they took Becky out of Roseanne and switched it with, the other actress. And then I like how they did it, though, with Roseanne. I know it's not horror, depending on how you think about it. But, um, how
How
they,
could you
they
think about it in horror?
I mean, it's Roseanne. She's scary. Come on. I loved the show, but it was just funny how they switched Becky's, and we're not supposed to realize. And then, of course, they played on it later in one episode towards the end where one Becky walks in and the other one walks out. And then they switch it again, and they're like, who the hell was that?
Yeah, I guess if you can have fun with it and make fun of yourself, knowing like that people are going to be like, make fun of the thing people are going to pick at, absolutely. Then that's fun. But I still think like leave the icons alone. How did you feel? How do you feel about like the horror movies that get turned into TV series? So like we had the From Dusk Till Dawn turned into a From Dusk Till Dawn series, and
Yeah,
Jason turned
again,
into
movies should
Jason
be just
series.
left as movies. That's just like taking a song and making a movie out of the song. It's not going to go the same way. A movie's not meant to be a TV series. You change the character, you got to put a storyline into every day. You get attracted to the characters in a movie, you grow to like them. Even the horror film characters, you're like, we love Freddy Krueger, even though we'd never want to interact with him in real life, because he'd obviously go after you in your dreams and whatnot. But other than that, he's cool as long as he stays in someone else's head.
He's cool as long as he's in her dream.
Yeah, as long as he's not in my head, he's fantastic. Just stay over there.
Let's do from there. I have yet to see a TV series where I'm like, oh, that was decent based on, a movie.
Mhm.
To your point, like you have to have a storyline to keep the TV series going. So then it just becomes like constant drama. And then it starts to feel like the horror subject got put in high school or like a soap opera. And it's just like, well, this person slept with that person that slept with that person, and this person killed that person. And it's like,
A horror soap opera.
yeah. And, to some that might sound great, but to me, I'm just like, don't do it to our beloved horror shows.
Yeah.
Now, around what decade were you born?
88.
Okay. So, yeah, you're
Probably.
you're around the same as me. Did you, cuz so for me my favorite movie is The Lost Boys. Did you like The Lost Boys? This is a litmus test.
Definitely did. I even like that actually has a sequel, and I actually thought it was going to be really bad, but I actually enjoyed the sequel too.
I think you're the first person I've ever talked to that said that.
I
But
did.
I
I
love
liked
that
the
you're
sequel.
honest about that because I bet there are people that like it that won't admit it.
Well, it's because they jumped ahead like another 20 years, and by then they had a different cast for it and whatnot. So I was thinking, oh, it's just going to be some really bad, like, no good story to it or whatnot. And I mean, it does take some of the same story pieces from the old one and put a new twist on them. But again, it was good to me because it was in a future time, so they didn't have to worry about the old cast being part of it.
Yeah, I think my one complaint about the second one was not so much that they borrowed elements of the first one. It was that they cast Kiefer Sutherland's brother to be the vampire. Because to me, that felt like their way of trying to pay less. Like this is our knockoff. This is our little generic brand versus doing the generic brand of like, okay, we can't get Kiefer, so we're gonna get the half brother. Um, just cast somebody else as the lead vampire. Like, just get someone else because we're not gonna have our main cast anyway. So just get someone else. But it's like, look, guys, we couldn't get him, so we're gonna get carbon copy 1.5. Like, no, don't do that. He looks enough like him where it's like, oh, you tried. You tried. Uh, I found the third one comedic. I don't know if you
I didn't
watched the
even see
third
the
one.
third.
Okay. So the third one mostly centers around Corey Feldman. It's like his character mostly. He's like basically like the new Van Helsing. I mean, he was already a frog brother, but now he's extra taking it. And that one, it was just like, oh God, it was so awfully done. It was a mess. But they did take shots at Twilight. Like they made so many funny shots at Twilight that I was okay with it. I feel like when you can have the common enemy, it's like, okay, like we're cool. We can kind of rock with each other a little bit. That's fine. So that definitely, because I think it was the main lady character. She was supposed to be the writer of Twilight, but not. And so it was kind of funny to me. So by the end, you're just like, yeah, get her. But yeah, I'm awful. Because I'm sure there's people on here that are like, I love Twilight. Yeah,
Yeah, that
that's it.
definitely had a big following for a while.
Yeah, I think it still does. Like I hear people still referencing it, and it's like, I'm learning to be less judgmental about it. Ish.
Just no sparkly vampires.
I refuse to acknowledge the vampires, okay? Twilight's awesome. That's not a vampire. Can we all agree that?
Absolutely.
I
There
think
you
the last
go.
vampire I actually liked was from Van Helsing.
Okay.
They did them pretty well, I think.
I liked Van Helsing. I'm trying to think last vampire movie I watched where I thought like the vampires were solid. Because I've watched some vampire flicks recently,
Blade
but
wasn't bad with them. I mean, I know these are older movies, but
no, I love Blade.
yeah, I liked Blade's action and whatnot, and Wesley Snipes was pretty good in it.
You know what I liked? Was it Blade 2 when they had the evolving vampires? I
Yeah,
liked those vampires, the ones
the
like that
hybrid
like
versions.
dislocate their jaws. Yeah, like those were scary. I'm like, who would want to come face to face with that? It's like you see a vampire teeth, but then the jaw dislocates, and it's like, whoa, you're not just gonna bite me, you're gonna eat my whole head off. Like, what? I love it. Um I have problems, obviously. The scarier it is, the more exciting it is to me. You know which vampires really got to me? I love the vampire genre if you haven't figured that out. Like I love, love, love the vampire genre. But um actually you should do an LED vampire at some point. That would be great. I won't leave the live stream. I'll be on there for like 4 hours with you. The ones from 30 Days of Night. I
Mhm.
really liked those vampires. I like the way they kind of reimagined how vampires operate. They're not these lone brooding creatures. They're traveling in packs and they're very strategic and smart. They're fast. They're not attractive. Like those vampires were not sexy vampires, but they were menacing. Although one of them looked like a dom. And it was like I don't remember. Like didn't he have like a collar on or something? And I'm like, what kind of vampires are these? I like it. John just shakes his head at me. What other vampires have been out there? I hope that we get more vampire flicks.
Yeah, there's not too many good ones. I mean, you had Underworld was vampires.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to think, would you?
I'm sorry, Jillian. She says she likes Twilight and 30 Days of Night. Remember when I said Twilight's a great movie?
Just no sparkly vampires.
I've learned to be less judgy because we talked about in the psychology of horror that like horror is how you define it, how the artist defines it. So I'm trying not to be as that's not horror and stuff like that. That face was horror. That was awesome. I love how he's making like random faces, and
I
it's
know, it's
like,
great.
well, are we gonna put on a song? I'll get a song.
So, Mary, my sister said Queen of the Damned as well. That was a good one too, ish.
Aaliyah made an awesome
Yeah.
vampire. I don't even care if the plot was a little iffy. She was
Amazing.
a hell of a vampire. I could have just have watched like an entire movie about her. I'm like, Lestat who?
Right? Who's that guy?
She took the show. Akasha. Yeah, that was awesome. I was actually Akasha for Halloween, like, oh God. Long, long time ago.
Many moons ago.
Many moons. That was high school. Holy cow. That was like senior year of high school, I believe, but that was awesome. Probably shouldn't have been that if I was in high school, but whatever. I loved horror. What other vampire movies have, like, I'm trying to think, like, what really has
I don't
been.
think there's been any like super recently.
I mean, I enjoyed the Vampires versus the Bronx, but that was just fun. I wouldn't say that was
Yeah,
like
that
doing
was no,
anything epic for vampires. But it was a
no,
fun. It was
it
like
was good.
Goonies meets vampires.
But there's like an Abraham Lincoln versus vampires or something weird like that.
Yes,
I didn't
actually.
watch
Yes,
it.
there
I
actually.
just remember the title or something.
If you like action films, it was fun. I
Yeah, it
mean,
was more actiony than anything, but
yeah, I don't think you go in to take it seriously. Like, it was so fun. You have Abraham Lincoln going in and just like slaughtering vampires, kicking vampire ass, and it's like that's fun.
and according to our old co-host Kevin, it's historical. I'm just joking.
I remember that. He's like that. I'm like, how's that historical? It really happened? And he's like, well, Abraham Lincoln was a president. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is not a historical movie.
Love you, Kevin.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies was fun.
I like zombie flicks too. There's
That
another
They
that
one
was
that
good.
I like.
freak me out. Which zombie ones do you like?
Um, I forgot which one it's called, but they're in the mall and they get trapped in the mall with a horde of zombies outside of it. It's a small
Dawn of the
group.
Dead.
Yeah, was it that one?
Wait, was it Day of the Dead? Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the
Dawn
Dead
of the
was the
Dead.
mall. That was the remake with
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
mall.
okay.
I
Yeah.
Dawn
think
of
it
the
was
Dead. That's
Dawn.
right. Yeah. That was when they first brought the fast zombies in.
Same one with had Fast Zombies too with that British movie. I forgot which one.
28 Days
28
Later.
days later.
Was it that one?
I think
I think
so.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
You see, we
that was
like
another
horror
great
movies.
one.
It was also mentioned in chat too.
You know, um, it's funny because like you had talked about because I think it was on one of your lives. I was like, "Do you like horror movies?" Because I saw you doing the makeup that was very horror-y, if that's a word. And you're just like, "I love horror movies," and I'm like, "Let's geek out." So you didn't think I really meant we were going to geek out, but
No, yeah, I mean, I like horror movies, but I'm not like in depth with every one of them. I was like, yeah, that looks cool, or that looks really bad.
Was that a hoary or horror-y?
horror-y, no hoary. This is
Horror.
not that kind of
Horror.
show. Not this episode, anyways.
Emphasize all the R's.
Horror-y.
Horror.
You know, I would say I like for being someone who enjoys, I will say I enjoy horror. That's what I would say. Because we know people that they can tell you the years these movies are made, what's going on politically during that time that drives that movie. And they know it back and forth in a way that just I don't. I'm like you
Yeah,
where it's just like I liked that movie or I enjoyed that storyline. I think for me I can really geek out with the vampire genre because I've watched so many, but even then there are people that will come in and put me to shame where they name like 20 movies and I'm like, no idea what that is, but I'll add it to my list.
that's the same thing on my TikTok. It's just like people tell me, "Do you know this song or play that song?" It's like I don't know who that person is. Like, dude, you play music all the time, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm just like I like that song. And that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, it's interesting the association people make, right? You're like, well, dude, you play music. Yeah, but doesn't mean I know every song out there. It's the same with movies. You enjoy horror movies. How do you not know that? And it's like, I'm not an encyclopedia of horror. Like, there's so many times we'll Google something, like while we're doing a podcast, someone brings up something, and I'm like, I've got my phone, and I'm just like, let me Google that really quick because I have no idea what that is. There's no shame in not knowing everything, right?
No, not at all. We're all human.
For me, I enjoy horror movies as I've gotten older, though. I will say, I think, can we just talk about, I don't know, we all have kids, right? I think,
Yeah, I do.
yeah, so, and John does, I do. So I feel like once I became a parent, this may not be the same for you guys, but I feel like once I became a parent, a lot of the desensitization that I experienced, like growing up watching horror movies, I feel like it was undone. It came back because my threshold suddenly changed. Like I couldn't stand watching horror movies with kids being like tortured or hurt or afraid. And I couldn't stand like even if it's not kids, but like the torture movies.
Yeah, I don't do human torture that much.
Yeah, like before it used to just like I wouldn't say it didn't bother me, but it I didn't feel like a visceral like oh my god, I need to look away. And now that I've had kids, I'm like, "Oh god, I can't even look at that."
I think it changes once the kids get older because, like, when Hostel came out and stuff, Lila was still young, and I'm like, ooh, gosh, I can't imagine,
Yeah,
anybody
I've
doing this
watched that
to,
movie a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
He's all
So,
little bit. I had to
and
change it.
yeah, like I said, I think as the kids get older, it'll change and be different because now I can watch it again and be like, all right, that still sucks, but it's not how I felt before watching it with a little kid, So
Yeah, my kids are young. I just like, and maybe there is. We're in a certain like empathetic space when we have younger ones, like this protective mode that is like, I can't watch that. But then as they're older, I don't know. I feel like I'm always going to be in that mode though. I'm like scary mom of like hover and I got to make sure they're okay.
Human Torch, right? Definitely. I mean, I've never had a taste for that in any kind of movie. It's after a certain aspect, my whole just. Ugh.
Exactly. That's how I feel. Ugh. Uh, I could tolerate it, like in Saw. I could tolerate it when I watched the first Saw because I feel like the plot really kind of who done it overrode the
all the torture ish,
yeah.
yeah. And I think Saw was kind of like, I don't know, less than Hostel was in a way. I think a little bit.
I guess it depends which Saw.
A little bit it was, and then again, that was one of the ones where I first seen like the previews or some snippets of it, and I was like, ugh, that's really. Ew.
Ew.
Right. Yeah, yeah. The part that got me in Saw though was when he took the back of the toilet seat and broke his ankle. I can't. Nope. When you do something like that, I can't. Just
I
talking
could
about it
rather
makes me
watch
like,
that than someone take a drill through your kneecap or something.
yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, that's you're painting quite the visuals.
Art the Clown, I'm probably never going to watch that because it just takes a gruesome level to every one of his kills, and it's just more than I could want to bear to watch, really.
Yeah, the Terrifier ones, people keep telling me to watch, but it's like I've
That's where
heard
Art
that
the Clown's from, yeah.
yeah, that's what I was it just I can't I like I probably will at some point because there's so much talk around it that I'm gonna watch it, but then I'm gonna come onto one of these lives and be like, what is wrong with you and you and you and you? But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can handle many of those movies anymore. I mean, I'm sure I could make myself, but I don't want to, right? We're adults. We could choose what we what we consume, and I just don't think that's in my wheelhouse anymore. I'm kind of
Yeah.
limited. Hellraiser, I still have a pretty soft spot for. Pinhead's like that's my boy, but I don't know. He laughs. I have two horror hero loves. And he's not even a hero, but I love Freddy Krueger
He,
and I love Pinhead.
say he's your hero, and that's all that matters.
Love at first fright, baby. Love at first fright. It's actually funny because his voice is completely different in person. Like you hear him in the movies and he's very like, low, throaty. Your pain is going to be epic in hell. And it's like, whoa, that's amazing. And then you meet him in person and he's got this British accent and he's like, hello everybody, what are you doing today? So it's good acting. But you also have an epic voice. Is that what you really sound like? Or if I meet you in person, are you going to be like, hello, everybody, what are we doing today?
No, yeah, this is my real voice. I actually get it all the time.
Yeah, I noticed that people go crazy when you're like new people come into the lives and you're singing and you're performing and all of that. And then you stop like, and you're just like, hey, everybody, how's it going? In low voice. And we're like, oh, whoa, where'd that voice come from?
Yeah, I
I,
definitely throw off a bunch of people with it.
I think more people would prefer you using your real voice to sing like the songs than the tracks being played.
I've never thought of having a singing voice. Like, I mean, I'm a pretty good talker with a melody, but singing is just a whole nother field that people can actually do. And I know my voice would crack out or just drop tone or something like that. And just be like, oh, well, you can tell you're not a singer.
Yeah, I'm not a singer.
No, I'm a shower yeller.
Yeah, I'll sing in the car loudly. If it like I look like next to me and someone's just watching at me like mouth wide open, I'm like, I'm good, don't worry. I'm just enjoying my song here. And it doesn't help that like usually when people come up to me and I'm singing, it's like to a Tool song. So I'm like super like just belting out and going nuts. And it's like, oh, I forget there's other cars on the road. So I'm in my space.
Hmm.
For you, have you had people in your real world stumble across like your TikToks, like your TikTok
Oh
lives?
yeah, I'd tell them to go look for them themselves.
Oh, nice. I just always wonder how small the world is. Like you're doing your thing and someone's like, "Oh, hey, it's you."
That's my neighbor.
Yeah, I've
That's
definitely
my
had people at my job that see it and whatnot, or my friends of the family and whatnot have all watched it, or I'll pop up on their Facebook or something like that.
being that you've got, bigger following and you're doing consistent lives. Have you gotten any super attached fans?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I definitely have a lot that like geek out when I go on, saying like how much they love you or blowing kisses and all this weird stuff. It's like I don't even really know you. And you're just like falling in love with the character that I'm portraying, buying me stuff that like there's probably no way they're gonna be end up sending it or something like that. It's like,
Whoa.
wow.
And you make a good point. It's a character. Like you're putting on a character. It's not like you're coming on and, face clear and just like, hello, I'm Matthew.
I
Um,
do that once in a while too, but then again it's just
I haven't caught those.
yeah, the
But
characters are more fun for me.
he's also downplaying it a bit. I just want to let people know who are watching this. I've gone into his lives and it is like comment after thirst comment after like these people are dehydrated for some LED gargoyle. There's, oh my God, I love you so much. You're so amazing. You're wonderful. Say my name. Hello. Can you see me? Will you respond to me? Acknowledge me. And it's like, can you play Tool? Your paint looks good tonight. Like, oh wow.
Ashley's like, I don't want to be none of those people, but yeah, could you do Tool, please?
I'm not gonna lie. So, like on TikTok, I use our 3Haunted TikTok. So it's just a picture of our logo. So most people don't even know that it's me, like, a female. But sometimes I forget that they can't see who I am. And so I get nervous. Like, if he acknowledges me, are all of these girls gonna go nuts on me? Like, who are you? Die. And like, I don't know.
Who's this bitch and why is she troubling in? Come on.
I had one last night. I was doing a duo with somebody else, and it was just another TikTok friend or whatnot. And one of the persons jumped in the comments, started like attacking her. She's like, "Who are you? Why are you with him? Like, who is that girl?" I'm like, "Who are you?"
Matter of fact, who are you? Um,
Yeah, speaking of which,
Like I said before, it took me a long time. Everybody kept saying you got to get a TikTok for 3Haunted, and I'm like, what? I don't know. Because to me, I thought if I'm on TikTok, I have to do the videos, right? I'm gonna have to be like
Yeah. Doing the
doing
stupid
the
dances.
things,
Yeah. I
and I'm
was
like,
like,
I'm
nope.
not doing that. I'm
No.
not. I was like, guys, first of all, I'm 37. Like, I will say my age. I don't care. I'm 37. I'm not doing those. And I'm like, and if
No.
that's what I gotta do to get fans or what are the followers on TikTok, I'm like, I'm not doing it. But one of our guests was like, you do not have to do that. And so I slowly tiptoed my way into the TikTok world. And of course, the first like for your profile where they show recommendations, it was the dances. And I'm like, see, I knew it. I knew that's what this was. But on the lives, by the way, I was on TikTok for months before I figured out there was like a live stream. So I'm like, what's this live button? And I saw all these people doing lives and I was scrolling through and it's like, oh, and I figured out if you hold it, you can choose what you're not interested in. So I taught TikTok. Like they're data mining, I'm sure, but I taught them what I like. And so now I don't get those dances. If you do those dances, power to you, but I don't get those. I don't get the gardening either. You mentioned gardening, like I don't. I get the crystals. I get the metaphysical stuff, and you popped up. I don't know what I did on my algorithm, but you popped up, and I'm like, "What's this? This is cool." Like this is a thing on TikTok. I like this. This is awesome. By the way, yours is still the only one. I know you said you saw someone else doing it, but like yours is the only one I've seen like that. So
There's a few of them I have on my friends list or that I've seen I'll come across too, but I definitely follow a bunch of painters and cosplayers that basically are on the same realm.
yeah, I've seen the cosplaying stuff, and I've seen like people doing the paint on there, but I haven't seen anyone that gets just like full theatrical of doing this
Oh
and of
yeah.
performing songs. Like it's so cool.
I've never seen too many do it on live like I do. Like where it's like they use all the effects and they paint up every day in a different character or get into a different character. Even throughout the live, like you said, I'll it's like I just transform. That I haven't seen somebody do too well or do too much of. I do see them do lip sync ones and whatnot, but it's not like there's so much in the background or they're so far away you can't really watch them lip sync. But yeah, it's just something I've always been interested in is making shows for people and whatnot.
Yeah, I like that you've adapted your craft because, like you said, some people are hard to see, and not lip syncing because I haven't seen the people doing the performances like that, but just in general, like if someone's got their makeup on, it's either hard to see or they're not really doing anything. They did the makeup and they're done, and they're like, okay, bye, guys. It's like, but okay. With you, you're just like you come in this way, you're putting on a show, it is entertaining, and your vibe changes with each song, but you also know your space. Like you will I the coolest thing I saw you do was take your ring light off and start using it. And I'm like, that is so neat. Like you understand your space and your tools. You've got accessories like your full clown color.
Yeah, I got a whole room. I'm in a whole room full of masks and paints and objects for me to dispose at like any whim.
You have like the skull mask stuff too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you've got all sorts of cool stuff. Now, do you have to paint yourself in the dark? I love the clown nose.
No, I go in my bathroom and I paint up, and then like I'll come in here and I'll put on the black lights and I'll see what I missed or whatnot.
Oh, okay. You do have fun with it though, because I know sometimes like the streaming commercial will come on and you just kind of talk to it, like respond to it, and I have fun with it. You don't take yourself too seriously. Why so serious?
Yeah, so serious.
Now, have you always been into this kind of stuff, like expression through like performance in some way or another, or was this just when you saw that person, this was a new outlet you discovered and you just embraced it and ran with it?
I've always been very expressive with my facial or body language or whatever my mouth gets me in trouble with. So I mean that's always came pretty naturally, but this was just a way for me to portray it easier and then put my own little spin in art or whatnot or theatrical motion into it.
Have you found like your community is super supportive of it?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely.
I need a clown nose. Although it wouldn't look as cool on me. I just now, where do you see this going? Do you see like this is just going to be your ongoing thing, or is it something you want to do even more with?
It's been so far outlet, I guess, towards either voice acting or acting in general itself. I'm gonna hopefully expand into that.
You're definitely expressive and your voice is awesome. Like you could totally just read stories on TikTok, which I've seen. I've seen that on lives.
Yeah, I
um,
need to get a better mic setup because right now I'm just talking into my phone speaker, and the microphone I got takes out the audio, so I wouldn't be able to hear you guys. You'd just be able to hear me. So
oh,
right now I don't really have a mic setup going. It's just straight Samsung.
I like the wave. Hi. Actually, your mic is doing awesome. You sound very clear. So
Cool, thank you.
I think that there's a lot of like Debbie Downer stuff out there right now, right? Like in the news and people posting on social media. And you have people out there coming onto different social media outlets like TikTok. And even though it's your way of decompressing and this is like some good self care for you, it helps other people too.
Mhm.
Because for a moment, they're not tuned into bad news. For a moment, they're not scrolling on toxic stuff. They're jamming out to music with someone who's putting on a hell of a performance and looking really cool. And they're not paying attention to the other negative stuff. Because not at any point are you gonna join into one of Matthew's lives and catch negativity.
I mean, I'm not going to say I'm like an angel or whatnot. I definitely have my negative moments and whatnot. I mean, I am human. I'll definitely come at you with teeth drawn sometimes, but no, mostly I'm definitely accepting of everybody that comes in.
I mean, sure.
Although, see, I kind of would like to watch him maybe yell a little bit at something, and because that would just be amazing. Maybe not like take it too far, but like, hey, just do something. I don't know. It'd be
Hey,
cool.
watch
But
it now.
I
yeah,
mean, I'm not saying that people come in and you're like, hello, a clown, but like you tend to, for the most part, spread a lot of kindness. Even people you don't know, they're just like, thank you, I gotta go. And you're like, hearts. And you'll be like, creepy clown, and then heart.
Yeah, it's definitely all a character, and then you get the inside little teddy bear side that I got of me. Just like I mean, most people you would hope have a conscience and a soul in there somewhere.
You just gotta make sure that you don't piss off his moderator. She's
I think I
very
got
on
30
it.
of them.
You have
Yeah,
30 mods?
yeah.
Wow. That just tells you how big his following is. He needs 30 moderators. But I don't think I could put myself in the public eye for trolls like that. So that takes a lot of bravery to do that.
I mean, it's the same way doing your podcast. You're still putting yourself out there for the internet or for whoever. I mean, it's just like when you go outside your door to go shopping or do a store or whatnot. There's always going to be someone that could think or say something negative. It's what humans are good at it, unfortunately, is being negative or vengeful.
This is true. I think it's just people are a little bit more brave on the keyboard end,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
hiding behind the keyboard. And also with us, like before we did this live, like we were releasing it on the stream, so I can't see what people are posting or responding. Like I don't go look on, the reviews. Now that we're live, I know that has been some of the like, oh gosh, are we gonna get mean comments? Please don't be mean. But then it's like I'm sure there will be people watching to go at him. Get the trolls. Don't feed the trolls. I was trying to think if there were any other horror movies that I was going to ask you about because I feel like my mind always goes to vampires. But I know you said you like zombies, you like Dawn of the Dead and 28 Days Later. Um, did
House
you
of a
ever
Thousand
watch
Corpses was a good one.
which one?
House of a Thousand
Yeah.
Corpses, all the way up to about Three from Hell, and then I stopped watching.
I don't think I watched that one. I think I only watched House of a Thousand Corpses and
Devil's Rejects.
yeah,
Devil
Devil's
Reject.
Rejects. I don't think I watched the third one.
Three from Hell. It was different. I liked it.
It was only weird to me that after they got shot up so much that they ended up still being alive. Like
Yeah.
you don't get that much Swiss cheese and then just be like, oh well, we're coming up to hospital.
Exactly.
I kind of feel like they set it up for like it was that big epic death. I almost think that the anything after that was just like, wait, we need to make more money because it was given such an epic like death. And so I don't know.
Yeah. And like Lords of Salem didn't do well, and his other one didn't do well. So he's like, screw it. Let's bring back the Firefly family. Let's go. Come on.
Let's bring back what we know people love. But it just
Yeah,
like you
exactly.
said, it didn't make sense. Like how'd they survive that? Yeah, I liked that his very much he put like a spin on I didn't watch 31. Someone brought up 31. I meant to, but I never did.
Yeah, that was the other one
That
I haven't
was
seen
that
either.
was not
Thanks,
too
sis.
bad.
It wasn't I just didn't get a chance to watch it. Because I like Rob Zombie films, but that one I didn't have a chance to watch. I got behind after a while and then my list just compiled. I still haven't even watched Cabin in the Woods and John gives me grief every
Oh my
time.
god, I have an extra copy on Blu-ray. I'm totally giving it to you when you move here.
That's like the one where they like let in SPCs through the floor or whatever.
I think so, something like that. It's a weird one, but yeah, I'm giving Ashley a copy.
Yeah, I believe that's a really good one.
I just like that he didn't remake. He tried to put a new fun spin on like that whole subgenre of Texas Chainsaw, right? And just like the killer families and the killer just I don't know. I liked that House of a Thousand Corpses put its own spin on it and it fit right in with that little mini genre. I don't even know what you would call that mini genre with like those psycho families kind
It
of
probably does that.
Psycho redneck, but they weren't really redneck. What would you? I don't know.
They were redneck
Yeah.
enough.
Okay.
Yeah, they were engineering enough for the backyard.
Yeah.
Okay, then there you go. But I liked it because
Backyard engineers.
backyard engineers. Because that was the other thing. Like I got tired of the Texas Chainsaw, Massacre, like 7, 8, 20, 45. So the fact that he kind of did his own thing, but still felt like a little love note to that little subgenre of psycho hillbillies. That was fun.
The Hills of Eyes was pretty good.
I was about to say it. When I
Yes,
said psycho
definitely.
hillbillies, I thought of that.
That's another one family that kind of went really deep.
Yeah.
Really deep.
Backyard engineers.
Yes.
Yeah, those are fun. This sounds so wrong. Those psycho killers were fun. But like those kind of movies are fun because they're just real enough that like it plays on these like hidden things we kind of believe. Like, am I really gonna go somewhere backwoods and get murdered by a bunch of inbred psycho hillbillies? And the fact that that's even a thing, but like it is. Like, I've been camping. I don't know if you guys do camping. But like, I've been
Yes, I
camping.
have done camping.
Yeah, and like I'll be laying there and I hear a noise at night. I don't think bears. Like, oh, that's a bear. I'm like, it's a psycho hillbilly. It's coming to kill me or make me its wife. I won't go. So
Oh Lord. Oh my goodness.
so don't go camping with me. Like, that just because I will automatically think it's a psycho hillbilly and not a bear.
I think that way for porta potties, and that has to do with Hills Have Eyes too. When they're at a porta potty and the guy's in there, and all of a sudden he gets attacked, and like, what was it? It's like, or they asked if it was the killer. He's like, no, it's Shitman the Barbarian. I'm like, fucking love that line. I haven't watched that in so long, but I love that line. It's so great.
That's another thing I do for my TikToks.
What do you do?
Take good lines from movies that I know that are extremely funny or one-liners and record them,
Yes.
dub over them and whatnot, and then lip them, react them
Yeah.
and whatnot.
I saw you do the It one with Pennywise and Georgie. I like that one.
You also did some of the Grinch ones too, which I love. See, he's got like the horror and
Yeah,
the fun.
the Grinch was good too. Yep.
Your face, you did great for the Grinch. Like, that was phenomenal. You caught it all. Like, all the little frown wrinkle. It was great. Someone said wrong turn type thing. That's exactly me in the woods. Like, I think every scenario when I'm camping is going to turn into a wrong turn situation. Like, I can be camping 20 minutes from cities and still be like, it's happening. Now it's go time. Like, I don't know. I have so many problems. But that's also Red Snow. I don't know if you guys watched that zombie flick. Dead Snow?
I haven't seen that one.
Dead Snow. I've heard of it. I remember seeing it when I worked at Blockbuster. That's how old that is. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was the Nazi zombies.
Yep.
And it just like there is a porta potty scene and the zombie comes in. And so now for me, it's just like if I'm anywhere out in the woods, notice a theme here, out in the woods, and they've got like those old school bathrooms on the trails. I'm just like, a zombie's gonna come out. I'm not using that at night. There's a zombie's gonna come and get me. Like, it's either a psycho hillbilly or it's a zombie, a Nazi zombie. So, because apparently they're here too. So, this is how my mind works.
I've always really hated kind of like spiders or something like that. Creepy crawlies being in there. That's the only thing that'll probably stop me from dropping one in there. Is probably just a spider being on it or something like. Oh, all right, we're gonna dig a hole somewhere else.
Yep. Spiders and snakes. I don't. No thanks.
If you go into those, you just shine a light up into the corners.
Oh God, I can see them already.
Oh yeah, webs and everything. Ugh. Thanks,
The
Ash.
big ass spiders. Because I do that. I don't know why. I know better every time. Every single time. Because I'm arachnophobic. Every time I shine it up and I'm like, God damn it. And then I want to run out of there. So, yeah. So, and that's going to unfortunately stick in your heads. The next time you're in a bathroom like that, you're going to be like, Ashley said, oh.
Thanks, Ashhole.
I am an asshole. One lady put a new one in my head. She's like, so you look for spiders. I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you bang the toilet paper? And I'm like, why would I do that?
Ah,
And she's
jeez.
like, because the
Oh
mice
shit.
like to live in there.
Uh,
So she said the mice like to live in the toilet paper rolls. And I'm like,
I was still thinking spiders, but that's I can mice. I can kind of do the. I
Yeah,
was
I
thinking
could
about
deal
a
with a
big
mouse, I
ass
think.
spider. Oh,
but if a mouse is in there, don't you think spiders are too?
yes,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
It's what's not seen that I don't mind. It's when I see it that I mind that much. But
Exactly. They mind
Yeah,
their business. I'll do my business. I'll get the hell out. They can have it again. It's all right.
they can have it
the
again.
worst thing is when you spot one in your room and you go to get it and you take your eyes off it, and
Yes.
then for 2 seconds and it's gone. It's like, oh my God, we're never sleeping in here.
Burn it down. Burn it to the ground.
That's like that scary stories to tell. That one that always messed with
When
me
all
was
the pimples and the spiders come.
the
Yep.
spiders
Oh, that
Oh,
was
embedded in
so
her face.
horrible. Ugh.
yeah.
Ah! And I knew that was coming. I knew they were going to
Of
include
course.
that in the movie when they made the movie on it. And
Ugh.
she started growing it. And I'm like, no, no, I can't do this. That chapter, that like story in the book, that messed with me as a kid every time. I mean, we were all teenagers and we got like little pimples. Every time I got like a little one, I'd be like, it's a spider. Spiders nested in my face.
An ingrown hair is now an erect hair.
I know. I'm like, I'm gonna have 500 baby spiders come out of my face. This is awful. So this is um this is 3Haunted podcast.
And we're a couple of chicken shits.
Yeah,
We're all of
indeed.
us the spiders. Although,
Yes.
you
Fuck
know,
those.
so we could all agree, no spiders.
Yeah, no, you ain't gonna have any pets in my house that are more than 2 legs, 4 legs.
Yeah, I'm good with the four legs. I'm good with the
Yes.
dogs. I'm not doing the spiders ever. And if you invite me into your home and you have spiders, please don't ask me to hold it.
Don't even show me
Definitely.
it. I don't even want to be introduced.
Keep it in the
Yeah,
cage.
just
We
leave it
don't
on
want
your
care.
shelf away from me.
I've learned to appreciate the beauty in these things like recently just because my
Yeah,
daughter's into like zoology and all of that. So I've learned to appreciate the ugliness, I mean the beauty of these creatures cuz she'll show me like this lizard and I'm like I'm not a big lizard person. I'm like, "All right, that thing is kind of cute." Or she'll show me a spider and I'm like, as long as it's away from me, it's absolutely amazing. It looks perfect. It's cool. Like, but stay the fuck over there. Like, we're good. I will not hold it. I will not pet it. I will not know.
See, I'll
yeah,
do lizards. I'll do snakes. I don't. I actually love snakes, but not. Nope. Spiders, scorpions, like any of those arachnid things. No, I'm good. We're good. You
yeah.
stay
I'm
your
definitely
way.
in that boat. I will definitely handle snakes, scorpions, lizards, alligators, whatever you have it. But you give me a spider, well, nah, I'm probably just gonna hand you back to Splatmark.
Yep. I will scream like a woman and run. Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
So I take it were not into arachnophobia back in the 80s, the 80s film. That's 80s or 90s.
It was 80s. It was like
Okay.
late 80s with John Goodman. Yeah.
Jeff
I loved it.
Daniels.
Only spider movie I really watched was Eight-Legged Freaks, and that was nowhere near a scary one. It was just like
No, that was a good one, too.
that was the only spider one that I was okay with.
See, and interestingly enough, I could do the movies, the aliens movies, which the little like chest bursters
Yeah,
and
that
like the
was
face
alright with me.
grabbers. They're spider like, but they're still more alien than spider to me, so I'm okay with that. But
Those horseshoe crabs are like drawing a really thin line between I don't like you and like you. That's about the only animal that I can remember.
I agree.
you're walking a very fine line here.
You're really close to being just anonymously hated.
I love that anonymously hated. What is your TikTok handle?
LED Gargoyle Poseman. It's a very long one.
Honestly, I'll be 100% candid. If you type in LED gargoyle, he automatically
Yeah,
pops
it comes up.
up.
Yeah, there's not many of us.
There's not, and because he does create a lot of content and have a lot of followers, he's a top suggested account in general. If you just type in LED, it pops up. So
Yeah, like right away. I found that out earlier today. So, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. I did feel like we just got started, but it's like, holy cow, we're already over an hour in. I'm so proud of us. Look at us. I hope you had fun tonight joining
Yeah, it was
us.
definitely very cool. Thank you guys extremely. I definitely enjoyed it.
All right, John Thomas, you want to bring us home?
No, just kidding. I'm kidding. Thank you again for coming on. This has been great. And like I said earlier, I got caught watching all of your videos this morning instead of doing anything that I was supposed to do. So I definitely recommend everybody to go and check them out. Follow, please do so. And thank you for listening to this episode of 3Haunted Podcast with your hosts. I'm John Thomas.
I am Ashley Lunar Goddess.
I'm LED Gargoyle.
Yeah, he is. And if you have any questions, comments, episode suggestions, please feel free to email us at 3hauntedpodcast@gmail.com. And if you haven't done so already, please like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media. You don't want to miss one absolutely amazing moment.
Until next time.
Until next time.